find the time to join us. Welcome aboard, Graham. Looking back, first of all those years ago when you took over as manager of 4th Division Watford, was it allowing for the fact that you're an ambitious man, did you really dream that you'd ever be walking out at the head of the team at Wembley?
Yes. Sounds very boastful, Mike, I know, but I think that all boyhood dreams, both at Lincoln and at Watford, yes, you dream about that. Whether, in fact, you ever think it will become reality is a different thing. Now, it is reality, and I'm very pleased.
One little memory from the past. I gather you thought that the chairman, a certain Elton John, was a creature from another planet, didn't you?
Well, what happened is that I'd originally turned Watford's approach down when I was the manager of Lincoln, and they came back a few weeks later, and there was a lot of headlines, newspaper headlines about it, and I've got a good relationship with the Lincoln players then, and they were going about humming a tune, and I realised they were taking the mickey out of me, but I didn't know what it was all about. So I called Sam Ellis, who was then the captain, and said, look, you know, I like a joke and what have you, but I can't join in if I don't know what it's about. He said, well, they're humming a tune. I said, well, what tune that? He said, it's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I said, what the hell's that? He said, well, it's his latest song. I said, who? He said,
Elton John.
I said, oh. I said, well, it's nice to know these things. Yeah. And that's really how it was. I mean, I just didn't know.
You know well enough now. Briefly, a sour note for you, I know, the absence tomorrow of Will Frostron. Have you really got used to the knowledge that he's not going to be there?
Yes, I mean, we've had to do. A lot of things were said at the time, I think quite rightly so. It's a terrible feeling. There's only myself saw the actual player immediately afterwards. And I know that a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't be sent off and various other things, but I mean, it's not quite as simple as that. But having said all of those things, there is no appeal. We've accepted it, and it would be silly to go on and on and on about it. Wilf isn't there in terms of being on the field, but is as close to us as we can possibly get him.
Is tomorrow living proof that all bookies are mad? They've got Everton at 6-4 on at the moment.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. We'll just have to wait and see.
You've signed a 6-year contract at Watford. Assuming that you win, which you will make that assumption, of course, what next? What lies in the future for you?
Well, I think you were talking earlier about being ambitious, and I know a lot of people say it's not possible, but I think one of the greatest things is that having come from the 4th Division, can we actually now win the Championship? I mean, I think these are tremendous, they're tasks, they are ambitious. I have a great admiration, for instance, for Wimbledon. I mean, Wimbledon in the 2nd Division. I think it's an absolutely superb achievement, that, and I think if within the next 5 or 6 years, Watford can actually win the Championship once, then I think we can sit back and say, hey, we've actually cracked it.
Must break off there, Graham. I suppose one of the greatest tributes to you is that the small clubs are now talking of doing a Watford, which is a great tribute to you, but stay with us, and I have to warn you that after the break, we're getting a totally unbiased view of the Cup final from that Everton fanatic, Ed Stewart.
Your livelihood and everything. Well, what do you think of sort of freaks, I hesitate to use the word, but people who are very keen on football, like Ed Stewart, and myself for that matter, who sort of are just mad, passionate fans?
Well, that's what it's about. That's why we're here. We're here for you.
I'm trying to think of a team that plays in pink, actually.
No, I mean, we're here for you. I mean, this is what it's all about, for Ed to get dressed up in this quite ridiculous fashion. It's
quite right. It doesn't happen very often, I can do this.
There's no doubt that if you support a team as a little lad, or a little girl for that matter, once it's in your blood, it does not go, however badly they do. And if you support Hartlepool, say, or Rochdale or something, and they're always in the 4th Division. Yes, well, I'm not comparing the two at all, but it's in your blood, and that's it. Now, what's happened in Watford in the last few weeks as the town?
Well, I mean, there's been the typical sort of cup tie atmosphere. I think it's the same. People obviously are referring to Watford because they're in the cup final at the moment, but I mean, everywhere it goes, you see all of the colours. It's all in the town, the people, and it's a very, very exciting time for everybody. It is their day. It's all right talking about the players and the manager, and obviously it's our day to a degree, but it's everybody's day who wants to be a part of the cup final, and you can play your part.
Do you find that, talking about people wanting to be a part of it, that there are a lot more people wanting to be a part of it now that you didn't know were your best friends until recently? Or relatives, for that matter?
Well, I don't want to appear cynical or anything like that, Nick, but there's going to be more people die on May the 20th than I've ever known, because I've had so many requests saying, look, my dad, my granddad, they're going to die on May the 20th, and he's always wanted to see it. Please, before he dies, can I have a ticket? So, I mean, actually, there's going to be so many deaths on May the 20th that it's quite incredible, really. I mean, it's that kind. I've never seen mail. I've never had to experience mail and phone calls like in my life.
Yes, I bet. Well, can I introduce you to Debbie Kempton-Smith, who's an ace sort of horoscope astrologer type? I'm sorry to put it so sort of innocently.
I was
wondering
I'm blooming
about that,
hopeless at things like that, Debbie. Graham here is the manager of one of the teams playing in the big match south of the border tomorrow. This is a Scottish Cup final as well, let me just add. And Ed Stewart here is a great supporter of the team that Graham is playing against, as it were, if you've understood that. I want to know what sort of vibes you get from them. Graham is the manager.
Well, of course, at this hour of the morning, the vibes are still filtering through the coffee and the bloodstream, actually, Nick. But what I pick up for tomorrow is that the moon has just gone into the sign of the crocodile. And it's going to be the same moon sign that Adolf Hitler was born on tomorrow. So I don't know who's going to win this game, because I didn't just happen to wake up, look under the pillow and yank out the horoscopes of the teams. And I can tell you this, it's going to be a fight to the death tomorrow. I think you'll have the people popping off tomorrow. I don't think you're going to have to wait for any 20th.
Oh, well, I think I
what
understand
signs
that.
do we have here? You're the
Taurus.
softy here. And
Taurus.
you've got some Pisces in you, though. You see the
Well, so I've
fish
been
eyes?
told. Yes, yes. Well, no, it's just early
Big,
in the morning. I don't usually
gloopy,
look this way.
sympathetic-looking eyes.
He's not well at this time, honestly.
Virgo.
Oh, you're Virgo.
I am.
Oh, so Virgo and Taurus, you should get on fairly well,
do?
actually.
Yeah, fine.
Surprising.
He's buying me a drink tomorrow.
Very nice.
In sympathy. Is that right? Hey, they've been very rude about you in the Wembley programme, haven't they? Talking about Watford's style.
Just a little bit. We're a little bit disappointed because nobody actually from the Wembley programme has ever spoken to me, but I've got all the quotes in there.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I've heard people being rude, jokingly rude, saying things like, when the Watford defence clear the ball, it goes up so high it comes back down with snow on it. And
well, I mean, that is, you've got to accept that, and that's the funny
Yeah.
part. We can all accept that kind of thing, but I think that it's a little bit disappointing when you get people in all seriousness talking
Yes.
about one or two things. It just takes a little bit of the gloss off. But I mean, we've learnt to live with that, and one of the things that you do have to do is that as you do become more successful, the criticism becomes more fierce.
Yeah.
It's part and parcel
Yes.
of every profession.
Well, if I may say